What is up, everyone? Clayton here, and today we're back with another video. Today we're going to be discussing some of the stuff that we've seen in the Elder Scrolls Legends gameplay trailer. I'm not going to show the whole trailer here, but if you guys go ahead and watch that and come back here, I'm just going to talk about some things that I saw interesting, and just kind of break down what the whole thing's about in just a short little video. So the first part of the trailer, we are shown 3 cards that you can see in the game. We have Lucian LeChance, Odoving, and Flame Tempest. Lucian LeChance we know from Oblivion. He's actually in Skyrim too, but like people probably don't notice, but he's actually a ghost you can summon through the Dark Brotherhood. And you have Odoving, which is in Skyrim that you know of, and Flame Tempest. I'm not sure what Flame Tempest has in the lore, but yeah, the effects of these cards are pretty simple for card games. Odoving, summon, deal 4 damage to each enemy creature. I assume summon is like as soon as you play the card, that's what happens. Yeah, so once we see the mat here, you actually start with 3 cards in your hand as you go. Doesn't look like there's a mulligan stage like there is in Hearthstone. So the 3 cards you get, the 3 cards you get. But yeah, you draw 1 and then that's how you start your turn. You start with 1 Magicka at the beginning of each turn and you go up Magicka each level. So each turn you get 2 Magicka, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I assume it goes past 10 because Odoving was actually 12 Magicka if you looked on the last screen. So we cannot infer that unless there's maybe a way to lower his cost, which I haven't seen any in the game. I'm also not going over the cards that you can see in the game. If you want to go see the cards, you can pause it on the trailer and look at each card individually. I assume since the game's in beta that the cards are all going to change, so I'm not going to really put too much emphasis on it until the game's really out. But another thing you can see here is that there is actually 2 lanes. They explained in the trailer that each lane, you can only attack the minions in 1 lane. So if you put a card on the left side here, as you can see he does here, you can only attack other minions in that lane or the enemy itself. So that's kind of unique, and I think they just wanted to make the game a little bit different. They go on to say that some lanes have special conditions. So as you can see on the side of the screenshot here, there's arrows pointing to them. One example they gave on the website was a cover. So when you play a card in that lane, the card is stealthed or in cover, so you cannot attack that card into the beginning of your next turn. So that's kind of unique and kind of cool. I'm not really sure how it works. I assume in versus modes that this also happens, so when you play against other people, you might just get RNG'd into having a pretty good like setup on one board. Maybe you get cover, and that's really good for your deck. And what I mean by RNG is random number generator, because usually these things are pretty random, and a lot of card games have a lot of randomness to it, which I'm not really a big fan of. It kind of just takes the skill out of it. So this, I'm not really sure how I feel about that. But right here, they show you how the lanes work, and they explain that when your opponent's out of health, that's when you win. So as you see right there, someone did enough damage to our character in the trailer and actually popped a rune, which activates prophecy. So when your rune pops, you draw a card. If that card is a prophecy card, you can use that card for free. On the website, I found this card called the Grotwood Ambusher. And it's a prophecy card, and as soon as you summon it, it deals 1 damage to all enemy creatures in this lane. I assume this is going to shift the kind of the meta of the game. Maybe have prophecy decks, which cards or decks with a lot of cards that have prophecy. So when your rune breaks, you can use these cards for free and kind of give it an advantage. It's kind of like your enemy did so much damage to you, but you have a way to get it back against them. It seems like a kind of like a comeback strategy. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. It seems okay, but it just kind of depends how OP it is. And right here, this screen is pretty simple. It's just showing you there's practice mode, there's a story mode. People worry that the story mode is going to be the most important because it's like the biggest block on the screen. But Pete Hines went on to Elder Scrolls Legends Reddit and calmed everyone down and said it's not actually the biggest thing. It's just like training and advanced training. So at the end of the trailer, they went through these cards here, and as you can see at the top, there's a bunch of these attribute-looking things. And actually, what they are about is that each cards have an attribute assigned to them. So there's 5 attributes that you might see from the previous games. So for example, there's strength, agility, intelligence, endurance, and willpower. So how you build a deck is that you choose 2 attributes, and that creates a class. For example, if you combine 2 attributes, you might get a scout class or a spell sword class. So that's how you build your decks, and that's how you actually figure out what class you are, which is kind of how Elder Scrolls games are. You have a lot of freedom in actually how you build your class. So I kind of like this in aspect of Elder Scrolls, but I think it's going to be really hard to be able to like craft good sets, and there's going to be some attributes that are probably way weaker than other attributes, but that's just how competitive games really go. One last thing I want to talk about is that there's actually avatars, so you don't actually get defined by your class per se. If you create an avatar, you can make it be any of the 10 races, I think there's 10 races, that you normally see in Elder Scrolls games. The only thing this affects is what cards you find more often. In this article, or this screenshot here, if you're a red guard, you more quickly collect weapon cards and creatures that benefit from weapons. So red guards are apparently associated with weapons, so they'll get more weapon cards and drops. Another example is, if you're really into Bretons, for example, you find them in the intelligence and endurance attributes. So apparently, from my understanding, if you pick a Breton avatar, you'll find more intelligence and endurance attribute cards than you would of any other ones. So yeah, that's apparently how it works. So I think it's kind of cool. I kind of like how they're doing all these classes, and you kind of get to pick and choose what you have. So if you want more information about this, you can always check out the website. Also, they're doing a closed beta. If you can sign up for that on their website as well, but it actually is under NDA, so you cannot talk about anything that happens in the beta. So make sure don't blab or anything, because you're gonna get in trouble. But yeah, I just want to let you guys know that there's information about, and maybe just break some stuff down and explain stuff a little bit better. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like on it, and I'll do more Elder Scrolls Legends as we get more information, and maybe when the open beta comes out, we can show some gameplay of it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and it's Clayton, signing out.